What did we study in the last week? From the classification of plant kingdom, algae, bryophyte, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, characteristics, classification, examples. Today, we will try to understand life cycle of angiosperms, characteristics of angiosperms, and then also alternation of generation in plant kingdom. How do you recognize angiosperms? Well, in this plant kingdom, number of species, total number of species is more in angiosperms when compared to any other divisions. It means angiosperms are more successfully evolved communities in plant kingdom. How do you identify angiosperms? Where do you find angiosperms? You can find flowering plants everywhere. Terrestrial habitat, aquatic habitat, or bark of some other plant, some other tree. Here are angiosperms, flowering plants. They are more advanced. They are evolved for pollination. They have advanced xylem and phloem. They are evolved to attract animal pollinator species. That's the advantage of flower. Imagine this is the well developed root system. Just by seeing root system, you cannot recognize angiosperms. Gymnosperms also have taproot system. Just by seeing shoot system, you can't recognize angiosperm, because gymnosperms also have this type of shoot system. Now you have to look at modified portion of the shoot system. There is inflorescence, there is reproductive structure, there is flower. Flower consists of stamens. This is male reproductive structure. Carpels. This is female reproductive structure. You have seen lots of flowers, colored petals, attractive sepals. In addition to that, flower will have reproductive structure, such as stamens and carpels. I cannot say antheridia and archegonia. Antheridia and archegonia are the reproductive structures in non-flowering plants. We are talking about flowering plants. Flower will not have antheridia and archegonia. Flower will have stamen and carpel. Which is stamen? This anther, filament. Whole thing is stamen. Then where is the carpel? See this stigma, style, ovary. Inside this there is ovule. Inside this there is embryo sac. That is gametophyte. Inside this male gametophyte, anther, pollen grain only. Okay, so they are the reproductive structures in angiosperms. I take a section of this anther. I can find microsporangia, like these compartments. This microsporangia will have those 4 mother cells, diploid cells, undergo meiosis to form spores, smaller spores, microspores. I've discussed this thing in the last week, gymnosperm classification, life cycle of gymnosperms. These spores undergo mitosis to form pollen grain that will have 1 vegetative cell and 2 male gametes, 3-celled. Male gametophyte is 3-celled. This is the pollen grain. This pollen grain develops from which one? Which is that microspore. Smaller one, microspore. So this is the male gametophyte. Male and female reproductive structures develop in gametophytes. Gametophyte will have male sex organ, female sex organ. Male sex organ will produce male gamete and this one female gamete. So male and female gametophytes do not develop independently inside the flower, inside the plant. It means male and female gametophytes depend on sporophyte. This is diploid. This thing is haploid. Hence, diploid generation, sporophytic generation is dominant. Haploid generation is highly reduced. Reduced in terms of duration, reduced in terms of number of cells also. Just 3 cells. Male gametophyte of pteridophyte, male gametophyte of bryophyte. In bryophyte it is huge thallus only. Whole thing, whole plant body of bryophyte is gametophyte. Elaborated. Sporophyte is short-lived. Here we are talking about angiosperm, gymnosperm, seed-bearing plants. Okay. Gametophytic stage is reduced. Just 3 cells. That's. Then where is the female gametophyte? Flower has stigma, style, ovary. This inside this there is ovule. Ovule has integuments, nucellus, and inside this embryo sac. Okay, whole thing is ovule. This ovary has so many ovules. Angiosperms have both ovary and ovules. Gymnosperms have got ovule but no ovary, you know that. Gymnosperms do not produce fruits. Angiosperms produce seed as well as fruit. Ovary becomes fruit, ovule becomes seed after fertilization. Okay, we'll go back to this ovule. Imagine this is one ovule covering the nucellus, nutritive tissue and embryo sac. This portion is embryo sac. That is the female gametophyte in angiosperms. In gymnosperm it's only archegonia. Male gametophyte in gymnosperm is pollen grain. Yeah, but archegonia, female. Remember, here it is not archegonia, it is inside this carpel there is embryo sac. Whole thing is carpel. Inside that there is ovary, ovule. That ovule has embryo sac. Surrounding tissue could be nucellus or integuments and other structures, stalk, etc. Female gametophyte. This is very unique. This female gametophyte, like this one only, diagram, has 3 cells here. 1 cell here, 2 cells here. There is one egg, only one egg, one archegonium, one egg. In gymnosperm or pteridophyte or bryophyte anywhere. Archegonium, one chamber will have one egg, non-motile. Here also one egg, one embryo sac, one female gametophyte. But okay, I repeat, whole thing is female gametophyte. But I have shown so many cells here. 3 cells this side, antipodals. Actually, this diagram appears in second year textbook. Just because that explanation is included in this lesson, I have to take a diagram. This is the central cell with 2 polar nuclei. These 2 are called synergids. And this is the egg cell. Count number of cells. 3 1, 1, 2. How much? 3, 4, 3, 7. 7 cells, but 8 haploid nuclei. That is the characteristic of female gametophyte embryo sac of angiosperms. 7 cells, 8 nuclei, because central cell has 2 nuclei. One is egg, other cells are not eggs, they are not gametes. They just support the egg inside the structure. Now you can ask me one question: how is this gametophyte formed? Gametophyte is formed from gametophyte, female gametophyte, right? Just like male gametophyte. Gametophyte, gametes inside that, they are formed from spores only. Microspore here. Then what should I write? Inside this, there would be a megaspore mother cell. One of the cells of nucellus becomes megaspore mother cell. That megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis to form 4 megaspores. 3 megaspores don't survive. I have discussed this. 1 megaspore survives, and that becomes embryo sac. Okay, so female gametophyte develops from megaspore, male gametophyte develops from microspore. Well, I am talking about seed bearing plants, I am talking about heterosporous plants. Angiosperms resemble gymnosperms in one of the following aspects. The answer can be this one. Both angiosperms and gymnosperms are heterosporous. Megaspore, microspore. Microspore undergoes mitosis to form 3-celled pollen over. Here megaspore mitosis repeatedly 3 times. The number of nucleus increases in geometric fashion. Initially it will have 1 nucleus like this. Megaspore, 1 big one. Okay. After first round of mitosis, you will get 2, then 4, then 8. Okay, 8 nuclei, but 7 cells. Because these 2 nuclei are present in 1 cell. Understood? So, however, the 8 nuclei form from 1 nucleus, from 1 megaspore, after meiosis, from 1. Mitosis, mitosis, mitosis. 2, 4, then 2 from this, 2 from this. That means 4, 4, 8. That is the characteristic of all angiosperms. Let me go back to this point. The pollen grain is transferred to the stigma of another flower of another plant. Cross pollination. That's mostly cross pollination only. Imagine this is the pollen grain here. This pollen grain comes here, stigma of some other flower. Pollination is over. Now what will happen? How will it prepare seed? How will it prepare fruit? How does fertilization occur? You should understand now. So when this pollen comes in contact with stigma, it will grow inside this style and it will reach the ovule. It will come near to this point. See, pollen tube formation. That is again common characteristic of angiosperms and gymnosperms. I did mention it in the previous class. Gymnosperms and angiosperms do not have any flagellated gametes. Pollen tube is required. Pteridophytes and bryophytes need water because they really flagellated gametes into water. They need water to complete life cycle. They're aquatic, partly aquatic. Angiosperms and gymnosperms are evolved for terrestrial conditions. They don't need water for fertilization. They don't release gametes into water. Terrestrial. Seeds advantage. In dry conditions, seed will remain dormant. Plant will survive. The next generation may appear after 1 year, 2 years, or 10 years, or many years. There is advantage for terrestrial situation. Seed will remain inactive, dormant. Once they prepare seed, okay, that will stop metabolism and stop growth for some time. Dormancy. See, that is the advantage in terrestrial plant. In aquatic plant, that's not required. They don't produce any such dormant stage because there is sufficient water. They complete life cycle inside the water. Zygote becomes the new sporophyte by repeated mitosis. That's all. But here also the seed develops from zygote only. But advantage is that, the important thing is that this type of seed bearing plants are evolved for harsh climatic conditions of the terrestrial habitat. Okay, let's see how are the seeds formed. This pollen tube will release two male gametes into this point, embryo sac. Imagine this is the embryo sac. Okay, from ovule I have taken this only, same. Antipodal, central cell, one egg, and the other two are synergids. Synergids probably attract the pollen tube. Once the pollen tube comes near to this point right here, that bigger cell has vegetative nucleus that helps in only pollen tube formation. These two are male gametes. Now two male gametes here. Okay, this thing helps in pollen tube formation. It's not actually gamete. These two are the gametes. Non-motile gametes, yes. Released over here. One non-motile male gamete and another one here. Now this fuses with this to form 2N. See, it is just the fusion of two haploid cells. Well, that's only syngamy. Zygote. This is going to be a zygote. Beginning of next diploid generation. Now what will happen here? Actually the central cell has two nuclei, right? So two nuclei fuse with this to form PEN, very important in angiosperms. N plus N plus N, this becomes triploid, 3N, undergoes mitosis to form endosperm, nutritive tissue. Triploid endosperm is a characteristic of angiosperm. Fertilization, twice, double fertilization, that's a characteristic of angiosperm. In gymnosperm, double fertilization is extremely rare. Normal fertilization, they don't prepare this type of PEN. They have female gametophyte that only acts as endosperm, haploid endosperm. Yeah, triploid endosperm. So how is this triploid endosperm formed? When pollen tube releases two sperms, one sperm fuses with this to form zygote, that will become embryo. That's the main component of seed. And second sperm fuses with these two here. N plus N plus N, that is 3N, that is PEN, that is primary endosperm nucleus. That will undergo mitosis to form endosperm. That becomes a nutritive tissue. That becomes a food for this zygote. But at that time of development, of seed, this integument, that will become a seed coat. Nucellus will disappear. These antipodals and these synergids disappear. Only this thing will develop. This will develop into zygote. This will develop into food tissue, nutritive tissue. Then at the same time that integument, that will be the seed coat, strong seed coat. So seed would be carried away from one plant, from one region to another region. Now seed dispersal, there is seed dispersal mechanism through water or bird or some other mechanism. And then that seed will be the starting stage in the development of next plant. So next generation will begin. Okay. So angiosperms are characterized by, theory exam, that's a direct question. Mention any 4 characteristics of angiosperms. Angiosperms are characterized by, you can say, reproductive structures which develop in flowering plant. Both ovary and ovules are present. So reproductive structures are called stamens and carpels. Then male gametophyte is pollen grain, female gametophyte is embryo sac. They are heterosporous. There is double fertilization, first fertilization, second fertilization, development of triploid endosperm, nutritive tissue. So they are evolved for pollination. They have advanced xylem phloem. Most evolved group of plants under plant kingdom. So they are different from gymnosperms. Okay. We will also, having studied these characteristics of angiosperms, we will also study the life cycle in angiosperms. not only angiosperms, all divisions of plant kingdom. When it comes to alternation of generation or life cycle, I have to start from algae, not only angiosperms. In most of the algae, volvox or Spirogyra or Chlamydomonas, gametes are formed. Gametes fuse to form zygote. Okay, but this zygote undergoes meiosis to form haploid cells that becomes single-celled algae, or it can undergo mitosis to form single filament or single colony, haploid colony of haploid cells. That means plant body, algae, would be haploid. That will undergo mitosis to form gametes. So what you understand from this is that diploid stage means only that is zygote. Everywhere it is haploid. Haploid, individuals are haploid. Entire life cycle is dominated by haploid gametophyte. Diploid sporophyte comes only here, that's all. This type of life cycle is called haplontic life cycle. Example, you can take algae, any algae, most of the algae such as volvox, Chlamydomonas, single-celled algae, Spirogyra, etc. There is haplontic life cycle. So what do you mean by haplontic life cycle? It's about alternation of generation between sporophyte, diploid sporophyte and haploid gametophyte. But in haplontic, the diploid stage is only zygote. Everywhere it is haploid. Haplontic, haploid stage is dominant, gametophytic stage is dominant. Then the other one is haplodiplontic. Haploid stage is present, at the same time multicellular diploid stage is also present. Multicellular. The diploid stage cannot be just one zygote. It means zygote will not undergo meiosis. Zygote will undergo mitosis. 2n mitosis. It means hundreds of cells are formed, thousands of cells are formed by repeated mitosis. The cell number increases in geometric fashion. Now the whole plant is sporophyte. That sporophyte has so many diploid cells. Zygote of bryophyte will not undergo meiosis. You can find that sentence in your textbook also. Undergoes mitosis to form sporophyte, multicellular sporophyte. It can be like dominant haploid generation, but there is multicellular diploid stage. This cannot happen in bryophytes and pteridophytes. So examples. Afterwards, this will undergo meiosis to form gametes. Gametes used to form zygote. But what I am trying to say is both are equally present. So sometimes it will be dominating in bryophyte, dominant haploid stage, gametophytic stage. But they do have multicellular diploid stage. It's not just the zygote. Like zygotic meiosis is not there. Meiosis is not there after fertilization. Mitosis. So many spore mother cells develop in sporophyte and then the meiosis begins. So this is multicellular diploid stage, therefore haplodiplontic. It can't be haplontic. Example, bryophytes. Think pteridophytes. In pteridophytes, haploid and diploid stages are independent. Actually, sporophyte is dominant, but still it comes under, when it comes to life cycle, this category only. And then few algae, very important, Polysiphonia, Ectocarpus. and kelps, brown algae, red algae have this haplodiplontic stage life cycle. And the third one is this, I'll write it here, diplontic life cycle. If you have understood that haplontic, then it's not difficult for you to say what is diplontic, because it's opposite to that haplontic. In diplontic, there is alternation of generation between sporophytic stage and gametophytic stage, but diploid stage is dominant. Haploid stage is highly reduced. Embryo sac is haploid stage. Pollen grain is haploid stage. Haploid stages depend on diploid stages. Which one shows this type of diploid? Everywhere is diploid stage. Only haploid stage is this gametophyte reduced. That is all gymnosperms and angiosperms, seed bearing plants. Seed habits in seed plants. One exception in algae, fucus, diplontic life cycle. Normally algae show this, a few exceptions, haplodiplontic and one example for diplontic. So, what did you understand today? Characteristics of angiosperms. That won't be confusing. You can easily say this is angiosperm, this is not angiosperm. Just by seeing flower, that is not enough from the exam point of view. You have to say it has a well-developed xylem, phloem, heterosporous, stamens and carpels, double fertilization, primary endosperm nucleus, seeds and fruits both are present, seed dispersal mechanism, pollination mechanism. So when you highlight those points systematically, you can expect 5 out of 5 in the theory exam, state level exams or district level exams. Or there can be a question on this life cycle also. So 3 things we study in alternation of generation in plant kingdom: haplontic, haplodiplontic, diplontic. You also get the diagrammatic representation in the NCERT. So just by seeing diagrammatic representation you can understand, because completely dominated by haploid stage. Only diploid stage is this. Here completely the life cycle shows diploid stage, except that reduced gametophytic stages. Whereas here both are equally present. But in bryophyte, haploid stage is dominant. Multicellular diploid stage is also present. Okay. So once again you start reading this plant kingdom from the beginning, then you can understand the whole lesson very easily. Okay, there are many examples. You should be familiar with those examples. Just by seeing eucalyptus, you can easily say it's angiosperm. Wolffia, smallest angiosperm. But if you have not seen the photograph of zingo, it's difficult for you to remember which is zingo. Is it angiosperm or gymnosperm? You will be confused. Sphagnum, how is that? Sphagnum. Markentia, how is that? Is it bryophyte or pteridophyte? Then you will get doubts. You will be confused. Oh, is it this or that? But once you see the photograph or actual plant, try to recall that. Oh, it's like this. It's naked seeded plant. Oh, it has chlorophyll. It's a pteridophyte. Oh, yes, this has thallus. It's gametophyte. Archegoniophore, antheriophore, heterothallico. It's Markentia. Okay, this is sphagnum. This is funaria. Okay, this is equisetum. This is fern, Dryopteris. So go through the examples once, be familiar with those plant species, and then you study characteristics once again from the beginning. You will not forget. Okay, bye.